Oh, I can't wait to tell you about my day. Now, try not to be jealous about this.
What did you do today?
So, I was woken up this morning by my 75-pound, 7-month-old German Shepherd puppy having explosive diarrhea all over the backyard and then trailing it all in the house, on the bed, on my pillow, and on my daughter. And not to make matters worse, she also decapitated my daughter's favorite doll. So I have Bray freaking out, crying on this side. The dog is barking, having a shit fit over here. And I'm in the middle. And then I get a text from the neighbor that says, can you please keep it down? The noise is annoying.
And you're like, screw you.
Yeah, I was like, fuck you.
It could be worse because 2 days ago, my daughter, who's 1.5, took a shit outside and my dog ate it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Okay, well, you know what? To make life a little better than our true stories,
our shit
a couple of weeks ago, I was watching this Netflix special, and I was just like, I remember being just so over the day, and I was just like, Lord, give me some kind of sign that like life doesn't suck. And guess what I did? So I'm obsessed with comedy specials. And I was like, oh, who is this? Urzila Carlson. I'm like, Carlson. I don't want to get the name wrong. Urzila Carlson. Okay. And I was like, who is this? And she started speaking, and I was like, oh, well, I'm an ex-South African. And then she had this New Zealand accent. And I was like, this is interesting to me. One of the best stand-up specials I have ever had the pleasure of watching. And so I was like, fuck it. I was like, I'm going to slide into her DMs and I'm going to get her on the show. And I'm going to keep going until she says yes. And guess what? She said yes straight away. Now she's here.
Yes. Hello, Trace. You know, I have to say, it did help that I was in hotel quarantine with an army guy in front of my door. I was gagging for I was like, anyone, contact me. I need to talk to people.
Oh, thanks.
So the timing could have been more perfect.
In quarantine, you would
No, but I mean, this is how the planets align. They sort of sent us in each other's paths and said, look, there's no other way. This is how it's going to happen. But yeah, if I was free, I probably would.
You'd be doing anything but this, probably.
I just want to say, like, I don't see the problem with your dog eating your kid's shit outside. I mean, I've got a 3-year-old and we've got a Labrador, and I tell you, every time, like, especially when I was a baby, I'd have to really struggle. And when we were potty training, and we'd run outside and shit on the lawn, and then I go, did you have a shit? Because I wouldn't know because the dog's already eaten it. And I'm like, this is great. This is the cycle of life. It's self-cleansing. It's great. It's like, that's composting at work. You can see it.
Well, my husband always said, if you eat your own shit, then you're like sick. Not like sick in the head, but like your dog is sick in the head too. Yes, you're sick in the head too if you eat your own shit. If your dog eats some person's, I can't believe there's like everyone's like ending the podcast right now. When your dog shit, then they're not well. So maybe my dog's dying, but you never knew that. You were just happy about it.
No, every Labrador and every Golden Retriever is dying then, because that's
yeah. That's like the name of the game for them.
Yeah. And you know,
New Zealander, South African. Are you?
I'm a South African. Yeah, so I'm a South African. That's how I identify. I'm a South African, who live in New Zealand. So I immigrated to New Zealand, but I work in Australia 6 months of the year. So I've got this real hybrid accent that sort of just go. And I think my accent wouldn't have changed as much if I didn't do as much tally, because people kind of go, can you just try and soften, so certain words I started changing specifically so people on telly wouldn't go, what the fuck is going on?
My husband was listening to your special, and the whole time I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. He's like, I don't understand some of this. And I was like, you have to have an ear for it, for sure.
Yeah. So a few people, especially Americans and Canadians, have said they've listened to it a few times. They go, I've watched your special 5 times and I still laugh because now I get some of the stuff. They're getting used to my accent, you see. And also because I talk a million miles an hour, because South Africans, I think, talk faster than the other people because we love to talk and we like to get in there.
So when did you immigrate from South Africa?
2006. in the winter, which is a bad time. If you're considering moving to New Zealand, do not go in winter. But, I went right in the middle of winter, the coldest winter that they had on record. So that was a good move on my part. But at least nothing since then have disappointed me. There's not been a winter since that I've gone, I can't cope with this.
So I also saw the special. It was so funny. I loved how you cornered that couple that was sitting in the front row. They were just like, oh my God, this is the best. Was that all just like ad-libbed for you, or was that already sort of planned out?
No, well, they weren't a plant. They were just, because some shows I can't do that bit because there's no hot people in the front.
Everyone's hot, okay? In their own way, everyone is sexy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But to other people, that have eyes in that. That bit started off as just an off-the-cuff thing. I saw a really good-looking couple in the front, and he was a personal trainer, and she was a yoga instructor, but they were very pretty. And that's how that bit started. So then I put that in the special. That was... But they were just a hot couple in the front there.
Do you ever go completely blank on stage? Like, that is my biggest fear just in general, like when it comes to theater. I was going to start stand-up, but you're like, no, you shouldn't. No, it's just because I'm so afraid to have for my stage fright. I'm getting it right now, just even mentioning having stage fright just is the reason why I don't think I would ever be able to do it.
Well, I suffer really badly from stage fright.
Really?
Like, real bad. Yeah. Before I go out, I always say the longest walk, the most terrifying thing is that walk from side to stage when you're introduced to the microphone stand. It is the scariest thing. And while I'm standing side to stage, I'm like, why am I doing this? Because I only started doing comedy when I was 33 years old, So I've sort of had a career, I've had, where I go, I can go back to that. I don't need this, So that is always top of mind. And every time I'm standing side to stage, I think about that.
Wow.
Charlie.
I know.
That's Charlie. He just wants to be a part of this so bad.
Why are you locking me out? Why are you locking me out?
He's like, I've got a question. So did you always know that you were funny, though? I mean, you said you started comedy at 33, but did you always know that you're funny?
Look, I mean, like my whole family is funny. I think in my family, I'm not the funniest person. I think my brother is the funniest person, hands down. But no, I never thought, I knew I was, I enjoyed cracking jokes and that, but I mean, I also don't tell jokes. So it never really dawned on me. But then a guy at work, he was the one that's like, you have to go do stand-up comedy. And up until I did my very first open mic night, I'd never even been to a stand-up comedy show. I didn't even know it was a thing. When you find out a career is a career, and you go, someone does that? That's a thing? Like, I thought it just kind of happened, I thought that was part of making that, but no. So that's, that's kind of so when I stumbled into it, I'm like, oh, this is great.
So what were you doing before? What were you doing before?
When I was in South Africa, I worked for Caxton Newspaper Group, which is all the local newspapers and a couple of the biggest newspapers in South Africa. And I was a designer for them. And then I moved over to New Zealand and I worked for Ogilvy in advertising, also as a designer. And the guy that got me into comedy, who said to me, go, 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 and he booked it all. Like was sort of a peer pressure situation. He was a copywriter that worked with me.
Oh, wow.
Just got me into it.
So what was like family life growing up for you? Did you have like a lot of inspiration for like all of this comedy, or was it very like traditional, or how did you grow up?
Well, because I was, raised by a single mom, 3 kids, and my mom, like we were quite poor, and we were living in this small town. I'm from a town called Benoni, which is just outside of Johannesburg, and like we were just because we're quite a big family, my mum grew up in foster care, so there's all these randos, there's sort of...
That's randoms, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll translate that for you. Yeah. Randoms is randos. Please keep going.
Yeah. So, you have sort of, when you look at your family, you go, it's basically people like you in various forms, and then the one racist dude. Right. Mm-hmm. But in my family, it's like there's a whole variety of colors and religions, and, everyone's sort of, so people can come up, and then my friends will go, who's that guy? And I go, that's my uncle. And they're like, no, he's not. And I'm like, yeah, grew up in foster care with my mum. And then, my dad is one of 8. So there's just a lot of people, and everyone's talking, and everyone is funny and keeping it light. And it's sort of taught me real early on how to just chat to anyone, and how to carry a story. And I think that is where it comes from, where we could literally just sit and entertain each other for hours, and talk to anyone. And that's where, when you're little, you realize everyone's the same, so you just kind of go for what affects all of us.
So you talk about your wife a lot in your comedy special. Yeah. Do you remember? Well, of course you remember when you came out to your parents. Do you even have to come out, or to your mom? Sorry, you have a single mom. Or did everyone just already know?
Everyone knew. I only came out when I was 26, because in my mind, I knew they knew. It was one of those things. It's like when you secretly smoke, and everyone knows, and everyone knows they know, but you still do it on the slide because then you don't smoke as much. Not that I thought I'd be fucking a lot more once I come out. It was never a thing. Like, I think I had the easiest coming out in the world. Like, I literally just went, so I'm gay, and my mom's like, yeah. Yeah. But that was literally my mum basically came out for me. Oh. She said to me, she worked for a vet at the time, and she goes, one of Dr. Andy's sons are gay. She goes, his son just rang him. She goes, so if one of my kids had to call me and say, I'm gay, I'll be okay with her. I go, and I was the only one that wasn't married at that time. And I was like, okay. So the next morning I just phoned her, and as soon as I went, to say hi, she goes, I knew it. Okay. And that was it.
Did you feel ashamed? Is that why you didn't come out earlier?
No, I said to her, I didn't feel the need to come out because I didn't see my brother or sister go up to her and go, I'm straight. I was dating girls at this point. I was just living my life. I just literally never said the words, I'm gay, to her, because I just figured she could see I'm only bringing girls up in here. But,
so tell us, I was just going to say, tell us a little bit about your wife. Is she like into like the whole comedy, world with you? Like what is she like?
Well, I normally don't talk about my family, or I don't, and I never give their identity, but everyone knows her name's Julie. But no, she's pretty dry balls.
What is dry balls? Dry balls is just very dry.
I guess it's just like pretty down, like straight and narrow, like pretty stable, dry balls.
Yeah, like you can,
the balls are dry.
I love it. I'm gonna have a whole new vocabulary after this episode. Okay, go ahead.
Like you can try and crack up. I was just like, yeah, that was funny. That was real good. Like, that's dry balls. Where you go, nothing's moistening you. But also, I always say, like, my comedy is not her comedy. She sort of has a real weird taste. She's very smart, and I think that sort of, she enjoys my comedy, but there's not a lot of laughter. But she's not a laugh on the outside type of person. So it's really hard to describe to people. When they see her at my gigs, she's like, that was great. but we've got 2 little kids, so she doesn't come out to the gigs a lot anyway. But yeah, she's very smart and very dry balls.
Do you feel surreal that your star is starting to take off? Because you started later in life, right, at 33. So by 33, people have spent so much of their lives like trying to fight for a career. And by your time you're 33, you're like, okay, well, which direction are we going to go, A or B? But that's when you started to like really begin your career. That was the genesis of it. And now it's starting to explode. Is it surreal for it to happen a little later on? And is it probably the best thing to happen a little later on, because you kind of know who you are, and I'm probably putting words in your mouth, and you just don't give a shit, right? You just don't give a shit what people think about you, because you're kind of a fully formed human being.
Yeah, 100%. I'm at that point now where I'm like, if anything, like people attack you online or they say shit online, you're like, okay, buddy, whatever. I'm not taking the bait. It's like, I'm not, because my therapist always goes, the minute you bite, it's like you're walking someone else's dog, and you don't need to be walking other people's dogs. You just focus on your own dog. But yeah, I don't like, and also I'm not going to get into, drugging and whoring right now. I've got the mortgage. I can sort of funnel all that energy, and I've got 2 little kids. And I always say, when I got my first Netflix special on Comedians of the World, I was at home and my brother had come over, and so it's a very, like we've got a very, because my brother, my sister, my mum all live in New Zealand now too, and my best friends have moved, and so we sort of have a little community, and we kind of still do what we would have done in South Africa. So I hired a log splitter, and over winter we've got a fireplace.
Log splitter.
I love it.
So everyone's got a fireplace. So what we do is, I've got the biggest yard, so I get say 10 cubes delivered to my house, 10 cubes of wood. And then, but the big ones, and then I hire a log splitter. My brother comes over, and I work the log splitter, which is quite as I'm sure both of you know, it's quite a loud machine to operate. I know. I think you couldn't see the sarcasm fall out of me. I had one look at you two, and I thought, fuck, if I ever need anyone to help me cut up a tree, you two bitches like that.
We're there for you.
So I'm working the log splitter, and I've got the ear mufflers and the safety gear on, and I'm splitting the logs, and my brother's chopping kindling in the back. And I see my phone ring, and I stop the thing and I answer it, and it's Netflix, and they're offering me a 30-minute special on this Comedians of the World. And of course, that's a call as a comic that you want, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I wave to my brother. He takes off his ear mufflers. I go, I just got a 30-minute Netflix special. And he looks at me and goes, and we've only got that log splitter for another hour, so you may want to fire that back up.
Grounded.
I love it.
There's no way that I'm going to go, excuse me, I'm famous now. I'm going to go and say, chop. We only have that for another hour. Let's go.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
The second one, I was changing my son's nappy on the floor in the lounge, as you do. And the dog was waiting.
Eating it. Just kidding.
Keeping an eye on it. She's like, it's a snack time already. So I'm changing his nappy, and then the phone rings, and I'm like, hello. And it's Netflix offering me a 1-hour special, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But the whole time while I'm talking to them, I'm trying to keep the dog away from the baby with one foot, while I sort of have the baby in a half Nelson on the floor, trying not to get shit on the carpet. So, all glamorous stories.
Totally. So what was, the time between 33, when you started doing comedy, to the first Netflix special, what did that look like? Was it up and down? Was it sideways? Was it pretty much just up for you?
It was always in an upwards direction.
Yeah.
But I mean, the first year when I just gave up work and I started doing comedy full time, I sucked solid for about a year, where I did not do great comedy. And looking back at it now, I'm like, good on me for sticking to it. I probably should have put the clogs away. But, but then from then, like people now say, oh my God, it just exploded. But it's been 11 years of hard work to get to this point. But every step has been amazing. Like initially, because I just kept going, I want to go to Montreal. Then I got Montreal. Then I, like a special. Then I got. So every time when I thought, I wonder what's next, I got something else. So there's always been something. But I think there should always be the next thing. I don't think you get to a point where you go, oh, I've made it, I'm done. Because then what? I retire or I go back to my office job.
Well, maybe the lesson is what you were doing was like, instead of going, okay, I want my own TV show on NBC, it's like, I'm just going to do the one thing and I'm going to set my sights on the next thing that, that goes in an upward trajectory. And it's just the next step and the next step and the next step. And it's like, the cake is built with each ingredient, until you finally get that final result. And then maybe that's the lesson, instead of us all going, well, I want to be hugely successful, instead of doing the work. And that's the thing that you said, you did the work. And no one ever sees that. They never see the person underneath the stream, like pedaling like crazy to get to where they want to go. They just see the success. But you mentioned that you go to therapy. I go to therapy. I think it's the only reason I'm saying.
Every adult should go to therapy.
Yes.
My question to you is, what do you talk to your therapist about?
Ooh.
Everything. So,
what do you need to like fix about yourself? Come on, give us
nothing, right? Nothing.
No, so I actually doing that cognitive behavioral therapy at the moment. Yeah, because I'm quite driven, and I'm quite like, I just want to get shit done. Anything, like even if I go do grocery shopping, I know what I need to do. I know what so I don't leave a lot of room for fuck around in there. So if I do encounter other people on their fuck around path, then I get really annoyed, and I'm like, can you just fuck off? Like, I just need to, this isn't the place for it. So I'm working on that other, walking other people's dogs. I shouldn't worry about what other people are doing. Or even, if you get bad service, you're like, how is this okay? Like, okay, so a good example, what would piss me off is I go to a coffee shop. I went to a coffee shop near my house, and I walk in, I go, can I have a flat white? You all familiar with a flat white?
No, what is that?
I got it. I'm with you in the story.
What is it? Tell me what it is.
It's 2 shots of espresso and foamed milk.
Oh, sounds like it's right up my...
Yeah, it's basically, but it's less milk than a latte.
Oh, I like it. Okay, I might try this.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I order a flat white, and she's like this. The barista's like, what? And I go, can I just grab a flat white, please, a medium? And she's like, I don't even like your comedy.
What?
So in that moment, I just want to reach over the counter and strangle her.
You should.
But then I go, but then I go, I just want to have a coffee. Like, you're a barista, you make the coffee. I come into your shop and ask for a coffee and to pay for it. Yeah. I didn't ask for a review. Just make the coffee. And then I thought, actually, don't make the coffee. And then I walked out. But stuff like that would just... So that's why I'm in therapy. Because I'm like, how do I not get involved with that? It's like, this bitch is living her Twitter on the outside.
But that's human. You're human. You're being human. That's like...
Yeah, no, but...
No one does that to other normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But see, then that kind of stuff, that's the same thing you get on Twitter. You know, where I can say anything. Like, I say on Twitter, come on, New Zealand, we can do this. And someone go, why don't you shut the fuck up and just go tell your jokes? And I'm like, oh, it's just, So stuff like that. But then I get to a point where I'm like, I want to find you and have a word.
So do you engage them back usually, or do you sort of just like let it go?
No, now, you know what? I've discovered the joy. I just block. Although a friend of mine says, don't block them, mute them. So they don't know you block them, and that frustrates them more. So I'm like, I see the point in that. I just, if anyone says anything, I just block them. I don't give a shit. I don't, I wouldn't tolerate that if you come to my house and said that shit. So I'm not going to tolerate it in a public forum. That's even worse. You're just showing your animal, not my animal. So
but if you block them, it's almost giving them what they want, which is to be noticed. So
that's why I'm moving to mute now.
So what I've done I've been in this business 20 years. Normally I ignore, but if I can't because it's about my children, then I am the nicest person back. And I know that that person is dying inside, because people who put other people down hate themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hurt people hurt people.
Exactly. Right. So it doesn't have anything to do with you, but it takes a lot of practice, I would say, for it not to get to you, because it's you can read 700 comments about how fucking great your special is, and it's the one person at the barista, like the barista, who says like you fucking suck, and that's all you think about and want to kill her and her whole family. So it's just about practice, you know. It's just about practice. And
okay, you took it. I was just going to take a shit on a car, but
I got her dog to eat it, and then the dog pick, and then the dog's like, I was the dog not taking the car again.
The dog licks her in the mouth, and I'm like, you just ate my shit, bitch. Yeah.
You should have made my coffee and shut up.
Yeah.
No, it does affect us, but that's the reason why I don't discuss my family, why you won't find photos of my kids or my wife or anyone of my family online, because of people like that. And because I think I'm quite fiery when it comes to, like, I do get fired up when someone goes to my family, or then I do hit back. And I'm the calm one in my family. So
that's shit on someone's car. I really don't want to know what everyone else is doing.
Do it.
So I'm like, I can't go out there because it's for their safety, not mine.
Yeah. So would you say that that's like the most sort of like in your face, strangest encounter you've ever had with like somebody in the public, or has it gotten like worse?
No, I've had worse. I've had a woman just walk up to me, ask for a photo, and I said, yeah, and then she grabbed my face and licked me from the chin to the forehead. That was kind of weird.
Post-COVID? Post, like, quarantine?
Before. That was about a year ago. So, yeah, she did it today.
Because that would be considered assault with a deadly weapon now.
Definitely.
Yeah. The dress was pretty bad. It was basically assault with a weapon.
Oh, my God.
So between South Africa,
I get a lot of that.
Yeah.
So between South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia.
Yeah.
This is I have to get this question right, because I don't want it to come off wrong. Where do you think, or America, you have 4 choices. Yeah. Where are the people most excited about you succeeding? And a little disclaimer, because I think in America, and one of the reasons I like it here is that we're very pro-success.
Yeah.
In America, people want you to succeed here. Do you feel like it's that way everywhere?
No, hell no. Hell no. Like, I can see, because New Zealand and Australia have that tall poppy syndrome, and I do feel that. Like, I always say, because at the moment, with the Me Too thing, it's they're doing all these investigations and doing these surveys in the community, in the comedy community, to say, have you been affected? Have you, so you fill in these questionnaires. Have you seen a penis? Have you seen an unwanted penis? Have you, has a penis come towards you?
It's been unwanted when I included. I thought I did.
Yeah. Put that away. So and I actually said to one of the girls, because then they phoned and they wanted to do an interview with me, for the paper, and I said, you should talk to the girls who are, in the eye of the storm. I go, for me, part of the because I'm South African, New Zealand, Australian, no one really knows where to put me, like in any one of the industries or communities. Like, I'm too foreign, or so I've never really been accepted into either, any of them. Do you know what I mean? So one of the benefits of not being on the road comic with the other comics, or accepted in their club, if you will, is I've not been exposed to any of that shit, because I've been alone the whole time. But that's worked in my favor, because I've never seen unwanted dick. Once or twice, there's been I go, you need to pack that away, and why is it so pink? Stop touching it.
Why is it smiling at me?
Right.
You know, so because I've been by myself, so I haven't had any of that shit. But also, I don't know the rules. I don't know what they say. You know, when you're with a group of people, they go, no, your next step is supposed to be this. Well, you're supposed to do this. When you don't know, you go, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I think is right. And, you know, so I just kept ploughing along. So, you know, I don't know if they want me to succeed everywhere. I don't when the special comes out, you always go, well, let me see who's pushing it with me, you know, who's retweeting, you know, when the whole community, oh, I just need to have a look at anything but at your special coming out. So it's always surprising. But you know what? Like, I'm in my mid-40s. A lot of comics are sort of my age, but the younger comics, they're the ones that are very supportive. They're the ones that sort of have a different view, and they're the ones that are more open to, you know, accepting people of, you know, different sexual identities and different, you know, whereas the older comics, what the fuck is this? You know? And I think it's because we're turning into old dudes.
You know, you also mentioned, like, in your luck, you know, which is so great, is that your trajectory of your career has been like up and up and up and up, which is amazing. But has there ever been a time when you were like, fuck it, I am so over this, like, I'm done?
No.
Never?
No, never. Even if I've gone through bad, and I've gone through some bad stuff, you know, where I've offended the whole of Colombia in the past.
What happened?
What did you do?
What did you do? Tell us.
I made a joke on a TV show. It wasn't my best work, but it also wasn't as offensive as they made it out to be. And like, I literally just said cocaine, and it just went off, you know. And I was like, you know, even then, I'm like, this is full on, but I still love it. Like, you know, you have to look at sometimes when the shit goes down, you kind of have to go, this is bad now, but this is your reaction to something. This is not me. This is your trigger, not my trigger. And the greater good, it's like you say, with the 700 people can say something positive and then one bad thing. But overall, it's so good, and I love it. I love the people, and like when I respond to everyone. Anyone that sends me a message online, I respond to them.
Do you do everyone's podcast?
Yeah.
If I can fit it in, yeah. I do.
She's like, I'm in quarantine now, of course.
I thought we were friends. I was like, we're going to connect so much. And like, when we see each other in Australia, we're going to be pals.
No, I don't do everyone's podcast. I'm very selective. I don't want people to listen to this and go, yeah, actually, I actually say no to podcasts mostly, but I do the ones that I go, yeah, that seems nice. That seems cool. They seem like nice people. I also don't advertise other people's shit. I don't promote anyone's stuff. Like, if you look on I don't, because I have the time for it, and B, I don't want to open myself to that. But if people ask, like a lady asked me this morning, will you promote my business on your page? And she goes, just give me a shout out. And I went, no, I can't do that because, you know, but I took the time to reply to her and explain to her why. She's still pissed off. That's her business. But I respond to everyone, you know, if they talk to me. Not if they just go, hi.
Yeah. Can you make me a video of the entire family?
Yes.
Second child down, who's just
right.
So I want to go back on stage and paint the picture. Have you ever been under the influence on stage to get through?
Oh.
Never.
I have, right in the beginning, full disclosure.
She's like, actually.
Yes, I have.
No, I can 100% say no now after this incident. So in the beginning, in the beginning of my career, I would have like 5 to 6 drinks before going on stage.
Well, maybe that's why you went so good.
Get pretty hammered, right? And then I think I'm great. I'm that person at the party. I'm fucking think I'm having a great time. Everyone's like, oh my God, she's fucked again. And then the one day, because Afrikaans is my first language, right? So I got pretty hammered for a late show at the comedy club, and I walked out and I started telling some jokes, and I looked down and people were just looking at me like, what the fuck? And I just had this moment of clarity amongst this haze of bows. And I looked at this guy, I go, am I speaking English? And everyone just went. And I started telling jokes in Afrikaans. And that day, I knew, like the whole
that
thing.
was my rock bottom.
Yeah, I was like, I cannot drink. So now I don't drink at all before I go on stage. Like even now, I'm busy filming The Masked Singer. Yeah. And everyone has champagne or whatever. I don't. Before we do the reveal, right at the end of the night, I'll have a gin and tonic. Then. But that's it. I do not drink because I lose English. I drink myself out of a language.
So you mentioned The Masked Singer. I know you replaced Lindsay Lohan on the show, and you've gotten a lot of great fan input because of that. People are loving it. Like they're like, this we needed her. So why do you think it was such a good fit for you to come in, and kind of take over?
You know, I always say it's everyone that's like, because in the Daily Mail, everyone's like, oh, this is an upgrade. I go, but because you're supporting the underdog, you don't think Lindsay Lohan and go, who's on the bench for Lindsay? Who have we got on the bench here? And then you pull me off the bench and go, get in. Lindsay can't play. You're right. Like, I'm that kid at school that's the last one selected, but that gets the dunk at the end that saves So I think people just go, yeah, get her in here. Let's pass her the ball. I don't know more than Lindsay. I don't know more acts than she would have known. But I just think everyone's going through a rough time. And we're filming in Melbourne, who's at stage 4 lockdown. No one can go out. We're on curfew. You have to be back at 8. I had to get a special document that I have to travel with at night, that if the police stop me, I've got this pass that I have to give them and say I'm allowed to be out. So it's real weird, but I think the whole of Australia is kind of going, we just need this. We need this laugh. We need this, and I just, I have no real guesses. I'm just, having a joke around.
Yeah, but I think you're special. Like. I don't think you're the underdog. I think you're special, and I think you're funny, and I think you're a breath of fresh air. And my mom watches the show, and she's like, she's incredible. So, sometimes I just think that the universe aligns, and I've always thought in my life I was the underdog. Like, oh, let's just give it to Tammin, because I was very teased growing up and bullied. But you got to tell yourself sometimes, maybe we're more than that. Maybe we are special. Maybe we're exactly what they needed. What is The Masked Singer like? Am I on them? Am I one of the people?
I'll tell you now, if you are, I'm going to fight you.
Am I in Los Angeles or am I in Melbourne?
Oh.
Look at you. You're like,
I think you are in Los Angeles because I can hear your dog.
I can have a dog in Australia.
Yeah, not one that you're comfortable yelling at to go.
My mom's dog.
Damn it! That's all I had was the dog.
That's it. That's all you know.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go. And you know what? I did. I listened to and I'll show you, because my makeup lady sent me some of your video, because she goes, just listen to her, because she's convinced. Because my makeup lady, because she's with me the whole time, she's like, oh my God, it is her. I think she's.
Has anyone said that on the show yet or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But, like I say, the makeup people have been throwing your name around.
I feel very special.
Yeah. I'm like, it's not her. Here, Pointless Relationship, first single.
Roxy's never heard any of my music. I don't think.
I know. You're gonna have to bust it out on the podcast, Tammin.
See, that's it.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a little bit right now?
I need my band. I need my bangs back.
I need my can-do attitude.
I need my sweet little 20-year-old ass. so that I can stick around?
I've got your sweet little 20-year-old ass right here. I'm going to play us some right now.
No, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Let's see it.
Oh, Lord, what is that?
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I'm embarrassed.
Look at them eyes.
I thought I knew so much then, guys. I thought I knew.
Oh, my God. You might have to bring the blonde back, Salmon.
Can we stop playing this thing? You haven't answered my question. What is the Masked Singer like? Is everyone nice? You have to tell the truth. Don't bullshit us. Is everyone nice on the show? Are people like not what you see? Like what you see is not what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. So
let's do it.
let me paint a picture of it, right? So we're in lockdown. There's only a certain amount of people allowed. So immediately we're in each other's bubble, so we're not allowed to, which kind of puts you in a weird sort of gang type thing. So, and on the, like when I started, because they all worked together last year, so I was like, where's this going to go? And then I started brand new, even the production people, everyone, all the showrunners, everyone's the same as last year. But no, they're all great. So far, I have said right in the beginning, because, when you're wearing the earpiece and they talk to you, they go, we're going to throw to you now. But then there's like 4 people in the control room. So my only gripe was, pick one to talk to me, not all 4 at the same time, because my brain wants to explode. Because this, I'm a stand-up comic. I don't do earpiece, no one tells me shit. I do whatever I like, So to have 4 people in my ears, like the voices, and I found that overwhelming. But as for the actual people on the panel with me, so Jackie O, she's on radio, Dave Hughes on radio, and then Danny Minogue. And fucking amazing people. Amazing. So I've worked with Dave before, and I've been on Jackie's radio show, and I've met Danny at a party before. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was pretty stoned, so I didn't know who she was till she left.
I love it.
At the party.
Drugs. You just said, oh no, the last time I took drugs was when so this is a new thing.
What? I wasn't on stage. I was at a party.
Sorry.
Let's be calling weed drugs. It's like I wasn't mainlining heroin in the car park. I had a joint with a sound technician,
That's exactly what I say too. I agree.
Yeah, God, when someone says I'm on drugs, or they talk about drugs, they go, drugs is fucked up. You go, do you want to go smoke a joint? Yeah, let's go. It's not the same. I don't smoke a lot of weed.
Sorry.
If law enforcement are listening.
I smoked weed once. I drove myself to the hospital in red shoes, and then I ate a pizza and fell asleep. I'm telling you, those are some serious drugs right there.
See, I just go ahead. You just need to get fit.
Yes,
you need to get
that's
into
what you tell her. I'm like,
I just bought sneakers. I guess I'm running a marathon this weekend.
I just smoked the whole joint and everything. I remember looking at the clock going, Mom, I think I'm stuck between life and death because it's been 3 hours and the clock has moved 5 seconds. And I started freaking. Everything has moved so slow.
Well, you know what? It's training. It's training, Tammin. Come on. You got this. You got this.
Okay. I'm telling you, Roxy, you need to help here. Okay. You're the personal trainer. You need to get in. You need to motivate. You need to educate. You need to take it.
I got you, girl. We've got this. We've got this. Little bit by little bit, and you're going to be like, I'm there. I'm winning.
A marathon at the end.
Yes.
That's the thing about marijuana, though. You don't take. It's like with alcohol. You take 1 sip. Cool. I feel a little something. 2nd sip. I feel a little something more. 3rd sip. Okay. You know where you're at. With weed, it's like, oh, I'm a normal person. I'm stoned. There's no in between. There's no oh, I feel a little stoned. Oh, okay, it's coming on. I feel a little more. It's like you're normal and then you're fucked. There's nothing in between.
I don't know what kind of magic weed you're on.
Right. Can you send some our way, Tammin?
Sounds like some potent shit. I Are you eating the brownies too and taking the edible? What's happening?
And you can't. I kept drinking water because I was like, "That's what you do with alcohol, right? Like, it'll go away." And it was like 22 hours of just being stuck. I was like, "This is horrible."
It was 5 minutes.
Exactly.
I know what you should do when you start off on the path. Not that I'm advocating. I don't know. All of a sudden, I've become the voice for weed here. I have maybe a joint a month, but what do I do because I get so hyped up when I'm just off stage, like I'm so amped up. So then I'll take maybe 2 or 3 drags off a joint and then go to bed. And then when it kicks in, you're in bed, you're like, no, and you're out. That's how you started. And then later you're like, I'm just going to chill. We're in lockdown. I'm going to have just have a couple of drags. Don't go, well, I've got 1 ounce of marijuana. I guess that's a hit.
Tim, and you went all in too fast. That's it.
If it's too hot, with 2 hands like this, it's too big.
That's what I say about everything, by the way.
Come on, a bit of a can-do attitude and a run-up. You can take anything.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I've been in one situation in my life where I'm like, I can't. This is too big. If you hold it in both hands,
that's the dream, isn't it?
No, it's not the dream. It is not the dream. That is a misconception that someone made up that obviously
Oh my God. So
all the gay guys listening to this is going, bitch, harden up.
Oh my God. Well, Urzila, has this time in quarantine, before you left to go shoot the show, has it been sexy for you and the wifey? Because Tim and I talk about this. We talk about this about our husbands. We're like, oh my God, quarantine. Like,
I love to have sex.
She loves it. She can have sex literally like 4 times a day.
I was going to text you, Roxy, but I was like, this is kind of weird.
I think it's weird now.
I was going to text you, I'll be like, twice today! Exclamation mark.
People text each other and go, just baked another loaf. I'm like, oh God, I'd rather know if you're fucking or not.
I know. But the thing is Roxy's so lovely about it. That's why I text her. She's so encouraging. She's just like, oh my God, gives like the 2 thumbs up emoji, the dancing one, the one that looks like the eggplant. Like, it makes me feel good. She's a good person to share information with.
I always try to be there for you, girl. What can I say? No. So but for me, it's like the opposite. I'm like, I feel like so not sexy, like not feeling it. So how do you keep the marriage, spicy and going during this time?
You just, no, the goal is, I thought, if you get through quarantine without stabbing each other, you're already winning.
Right.
That's what I'm going for. I'm not thinking about nothing else. It's like, every morning you have a roll call. Cat's still alive? Yeah. Dog still alive? Yeah. Goldfish still in the tank? Yeah. Wife? Yeah. Kids? Yeah. All right, we're not leaving it. That's it. Everything else is a bonus. If you wash your hair, bonus. If you put a bra on, bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Everything on top of that. We're getting some fucking done, bonus. Everything on top of that. But it's not a goal, mate. Staying alive, that's the goal at the moment.
I'm the worst. God. I'm like, why didn't you look? You looked at me funny today. Why didn't you kiss me 4 times? You missed it by 1. I know. I'm like, my husband's like, oh God. I'm like, 4 is our magic number. I'm so needy in quarantine because I have no one else to look at or talk to. So I'm only have one person to have affection with. And he's like, I'm so stressed. And I'm like, lay on top of me and just make me feel alive.
I don't know your husband, but I feel so sorry for him right now.
You feel sorry for him too.
Right now, he's out the back in the corner of the yard, just crying against the thing.
He's slapping himself.
He's like, you can do this, boy. Come on. There's no crying in baseball.
He's like, not one more time. I can't have one more time no more. Please, let me out of here.
He's giving pep talks to his kid. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Stop jumping up.
Charlie has got him. Charlie's like, you got to do this, Dad. You got to do this.
Yeah.
She's gonna
I think I want to look at it. I don't want to look at it.
You look so tired, and I thought about the other day. I was like, "Oh, it's because we have kids," but I think it's because he has me. I think that's the problem.
Oh my God! And speaking of kids, I was so jealous. I saw you did an interview. I guess it must have been like recently, where you said in quarantine you've been able to have like a bath on your own without kids jumping in the fucking bath. I was like, where does this magical place exist?
And you know what? I don't have to sit with my asshole on the plug.
Oh, that's the dream.
The kids always make you sit on the plug. I get to sit on the good side now. I'm just like, you know those fizzballs that the kids love?
Yeah.
You can get those without the dinosaur toys in. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't.
Yeah. You get them without the little plastic toys that also sit in your ass crack and you're in the bathroom. You can put it. I've got one with rose petals in it. I'm like, this shit is amazing. And then you can just look in the bath. And you know what's great? You can put a glass of wine on the rim of the bath and no one knocks it in the bath.
I mean, there again, another dream. Like,
and you can feel like something holding your little joint, right?
Yeah.
You don't even have to hold it. Just puff it from the side.
Yeah.
I have this image. Please send me a picture next time.
That's actually a really good business idea since we have everything is legal here now in California.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
So that's a bathtub joint holder, right?
Yeah, don't let your joint get moist.
Yeah.
And you can let the O and the I interlink. That can be the logo. Moist joint.
See,
and then with a line through it.
That's a multi-million-dollar business right there.
That is.
Well, it started right here. I'll get the
100%.
advertising drawn up for it. The marketing plan.
Get the lawyer involved.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll ask a few more questions. I'm sure you've got other things that you have going on. But
I know.
Okay, it might get a little deep before it gets funny again. But what is your Achilles heel? What gets to you?
Professionally, personally. No, the thing that pisses me off is people, getting involved in shit that they shouldn't get involved in. Like that. Like
but it's deeper. Like where does it what does that make you feel? Look at me, Bingles.
Dr. Tammin in the house.
Your therapist, Dr. Jamie Singer, is on the other line.
And here we have that girl from primary school.
Yeah.
No, I think that, it's sort of, I feel, it's that thing, being picked on. When you're picked on when you're little, like, because we grew up really poor. So that was sort of, a trigger for people to pick on us, and then now when people try and pick on me, I'm like, don't fucking do that. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
And even when I see that happening with other people, if I see someone being picked on in a shop or whatever, like I'm that person that will go, pull your fucking head in. Like I will, that just immediately makes me furious.
What is the biggest misconception about you?
I like this one.
I think a lot of people when they meet me, they go, I was kind of scared of you when I just met you.
Really?
But I blame the accent.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Even when people talk to me on the phone, like there's this guy that I work with on The Masked Singer, his name's Dan, and he goes, when I'm with you in person, he goes, you're the warmest person I've ever been in a room with. He goes, but when I'm on the phone with you, it's always like, whoa. He goes, it's so jarring. And I say, it's because you don't have the full pay, like you just get, hello, yeah, okay. And when you don't have the face or the eyes or the vibe with it, all you hear is
Yes,
yeah. Jesus, man.
Well, speaking about that, we normally do a never have I ever, but Roxy, I wanted to do something if you are okay with it.
Let's hear it.
I want us to come up with words that are like South African, and you have to guess what they are.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll say products, or we'll say a name, and you have to guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you? What do you? Or how can we say? Would you eat it? Or would you
fuck it?
Oh,
No.
yeah, I mean,
People do that. that with a lot of things, okay? You can get very confused. They would do that with that.
Yeah, so you have to guess what it is, but first you have to say if you think it's edible or not.
Okay.
That would be good. You start.
What is a koki?
Definitely edible. Definitely edible. It's a cookie. It's a cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You are wrong on both counts.
A koki
It's not edible.
It's a marker. It's like a crayon.
It's a Sharpie.
It's like a Sharpie.
Yeah, definitely not edible.
Okay, here's one for you. Chappies.
Chappies. Wait a minute. I think it's a piece of clothing. Not edible. Chaps? Those cowboys, don't they wear those chappies?
Those arseless chappies?
Yeah, exactly.
It's bubble gum. It's a little square bubble gum, and you unwrap it, and then there's like all these facts inside. These did you know facts, but you can only chew it for 3 seconds before it gets rock hard.
Okay.
Okay, I feel like you might know this one because they do have this in the States, but biltong.
Bilbong or Bill?
Okay, no, it's not weed. She's like, did you say wrong? Did you say wrong? No,
I'm like, I know what that is.
Lighting up.
She's just like, can I do it now? Biltong.
Okay, biltong is definitely edible, and it is a fruit.
Close.
Almost.
You can eat it, but it's dried like beef. So they hang it and they salt it and they dry it for like weeks on end.
Yeah.
So it's like beef jerky?
But not, because jerky is a processed one, and like biltong is literally, you take a piece of rump or sirloin or whatever, and then they put it in vinegar and spices, and then in high salt content, and then just hang it and dry it.
Good. I haven't eaten meat in so long, but when I was pregnant, I like craved biltong.
Can you find it here? Can you buy it here?
South African markets.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Just right around the corner at the South African market, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there should be one near you. Okay. I don't know if you'd know what's a rusk.
Oh, yeah.
Rusk. A rusk is definitely not edible. And it is, it's a beauty product.
Rusk is like a big fat biscotti. It's like dried, and you dunk it in your coffee and then you eat. Yeah.
Oh, so it is edible.
We just want the food.
I'm so hungry now.
I'm batting 0 for like 5.
I'll do one more, and then Ursula, you can do one more, and then we can let you go.
Oh
okay.
no!
I really don't want to.
I know.
I've had in 7 months.
I feel it's our duty to keep you on for a few more minutes to give your husband a break. He's icing his balls.
He'll come back to go in, and I'll be like, "You wanna?" And he's like, "It's all day."
He's like, "I'm tired."
Okay. This means something different in South Africa. Okay. What is a robot?
Okay, a robot is not what I'm thinking. No. Correct. Okay. It's definitely not edible, and it's a vibrator.
Like sex and weed. Literally, the heading would be like, amazing comedian about sex and weed.
Right. Yeah, it's a vibrator. It's a vibrator.
No.
It's a traffic light.
A robot?
Yes, so strange.
Even when you say, you go, what? It's like at the robot, you catch a ride.
Oh my God. Yeah, totally didn't get that one.
Okay, here's one.
Make it good.
You should know this one.
Okay.
All right. This is a little test.
Okay.
Okay. What is plockies?
I don't know that.
Plockies.
I don't know
Plockies is definitely edible, and it's a chip.
No, it is thongs, flip-flops. It's in my special.
You're right. I should know that. I should know that.
Now you're like, you haven't watched my special. You're like, did watch your special.
Look, I have to go rewatch, and I need the book.
I didn't understand what you meant.
I know. We clearly were not paying
flip-flops or thongs.
Okay,
yeah,
so
you weren't in the moment.
Yes, I was not in the moment. Now I know what a flocky is.
My husband.
Yeah.
Like, do you like the show? And he's like, I don't understand this.
Next time, can you put the subtitles on for him, please?
Anything to get him away from me.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, so fun.
Can you be our friend or no? That's
yes.
This is it, right?
Yeah. Where does your mum live?
In Sydney.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, I could ask her to bring you some rusks.
Where are you? Oh, you're in Melbourne.
Melbourne, yeah.
You should have said hi to my mom. The South Africans need to stay together.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, next time you're here, because you're not here at the moment.
I might be.
Maybe.
My mom's in Sydney and I'm not in Sydney.
Ooh.
I could be in Melbourne.
Yeah.
You're not. You would have no freedom. There wouldn't be that much light. Look how dark it is because I'm in quarantine.
It's so dark, yeah.
And my apartment has no natural light. I feel like I'm a child in darkness. I'm living in a cave.
Well, stay in touch. I'd love to see you in Australia. We're going to come in November.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm touring November, so hit me up.
You're like, while you're in Australia, I'll be in the States.
Yeah, are you coming to
Weirdly.
Are you coming to Cali? Are you coming to California?
Yeah, I was supposed to be there with the launch of the special, but of course, Cyrus the virus taken that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll have to visit with you when you come out here. We'll have a nice proper girls' night.
Yeah, let's do it. Bring the weed.
Let's. Okay, so where can people find you? Promote all your shite.
Yes.
I'm on Instagram, Twitter, all the stuff the kids are on, TikTok, Reels, you name it. I'm everywhere. I've got a fan page on Facebook. It's all just Urzila Carlson. So just
amazing.
Hit me up on that.
Yes, for sure.
This was amazing.
I know. This was so fun. This is so fun. I love the translation game.
The translation. We should bring that back.
Yes, I love it.
I peed a little. I laughed a little. Roxy's about to get stoned and I'm about to have sex. And it's all in a typical night of quarantine.
Another Wednesday in the books.
And you can find us on Women on Top official on Instagram.
And Women on Top podcast on Facebook.
And I am Tammin Sursak.
And I am Roxy Manning.
And we are
Women on